Hi, I'm Alicia Soyakawa, the Empowered Woman, and today I'm going to talk about financial literacy. Would you call yourself a financially literate person? I personally really struggled with that all growing up. I have immigrant parents, and they really just kind of went with it. And they really believed that if they worked hard, that it would equal to making all the money that you needed. And so that was kind of the mindset I had growing up, is that I have to work super hard, work myself to the bone, which is what the hustle culture became. Grind hard to make as much money as you can. And that's trading your time for money. And instead, you really want your money to make your money, right? I'm actually back from my second time of attending Tony Robbins' Platinum Partnership Finance Trip. And this is like the pinnacle trip every year that people love to go to. All the billionaires that he brings in. It's basically 5 full days of learning about finance and every different asset class, and talking about, saving your money in different areas and understanding how to invest and why to invest in certain things. And my financial literacy really has been challenged and grown so much in the last 2 years since I've been part of this program. And what was so mind-boggling, and I wanted to do this video on, is number one, I took this many pages of notes, and I also they gave us this crazy book. And one of the biggest takeaways that I kept hearing over and over again on this trip, it's people like Steve Forbes, Ray Dalio, Howard Marks, Harry Dent, Melody Hobson was the only female that spoke, Barry Habib, Sam Nazarian, all different people in life settlements, people in sports and private equity, Peter Maluk, who's head of creative planning, Christopher Zook, who owns Kaz Investments, which is all private equity, and so many big hitter names. And if you're not in the finance world, to me, when I first started seeing these names, I was like, I don't know anybody. Steve Forbes, I know that because of Forbes, the magazine, but nobody else really rang a bell to me. And it wasn't until I started taking notes, like, this is one of the things Tony says, take notes like you're going to teach someone else this information. It kind of puts a different lens when you're learning to take notes. You have to teach it to someone else. And so what I found is when you learn to teach, when you teach something, you really have mastered it. And so in taking these notes, one of the things he kept saying over and over is the holy grail of investing. Holy grail of investing, and he even has a book, highly recommend it, Holy Grail of Investing, is 8 to 12 non-correlated assets. So an asset would be an asset like real estate's an asset class, stocks and bonds are an asset class, all different like private equity investments, businesses, all these things are different asset classes. And what they're saying is that if you have 8 to 12 non-correlated, meaning if you have investment properties and you sell real estate and you do these things all around real estate, they're all correlated to real estate. So the reason that being is that you reduce your risk by 80% if you have 8 to 12 non-correlated. And the reason being is that every single asset class will see a hit of some sort, which will drive it down. So if everything is in one basket, like all your eggs in one basket, the whole saying, you're leaving yourself open to risk. So that's something I kept hearing over and over. And I had to have an honest conversation with, a lot of my stuff is around real estate. I sell real estate. I help buyers and sellers sell. I coach in real estate. I have investment property. Everything is around real estate. Luckily Michael has his business with online business stuff, and I'm hopefully growing this YouTube channel. So there's different things, but you kind of need to think about that when you have assets. So that's something in my mind I'm going to take away. Last year, I made a big change I made sure to do was I switched over my financial planner to a fiduciary. And what a fiduciary is someone that does not make money off of the trades that you make or the investments you have. They make a flat fee every year, no matter what. So they don't really care how you invest and what you invest. They're not going to guide you to something because it does have a bias if they're going to make more money on something, correct? And also there's like hidden fees in when you're working with some of these financial planners. I'm not broad brushing, so this is not to get hate from financial planners coming at me, but if you can hire a fiduciary, it's someone that's really interested in protecting you and your assets and what you want to have, and kind of sit with you and figure out what your plan is and helping you grow. So last year I moved to creative planning, which is a fiduciary, and I'm really been happy with that person. Stephanie Trentham is who I work with, and she's really helped me kind of look at all of our assets how we are spread diversified buckets like risk and not so, like if it's risk growth or if it's safety, kind of more of a safety network. Those are really two big things I kept hearing over and over and over. And I'm so glad I did see implementation since last year. But this year going in is just looking at, really wanted everyone to know, what is your outcome? Like, what is the number you need, have that financial freedom? And he really discussed on one of the first days, like, why are you here? Why are you here? What is it that holds you back with money and growing your money? What do you need to learn? What do you need to open your mind about and grow? And the last day he had someone raise their hand who doesn't have their buckets labeled out. And this one gentleman said he did it, and I thought he was going to get in big trouble. But it turns out it's just that you need to take the time to figure that out. And so one of the cool things he kind of helped us see is that you have 5 financial dreams. The first one, a lot of people already have that set up, believe it or not, if you don't realize it, especially if you're in the business world and you've been doing business. Everybody in that, a lot of people in that room, and I always feel like this small tableau in that room, I just want to put a caveat, because there's billionaires in there, multi-decade millionaires, and people doing some amazing stuff. So being in a space like that shows you what is possible, right? Because if you don't even know that exists, you don't even know that's possible. And so that's one of the reasons I push myself to be in rooms that are like, wow, is this something that I can, you want to be the smallest in the room is what I always tell people. So the first bucket of 5 financial dreams is going to be your financial security. I'm reading off this just so you know, because I'm not going to be able to memorize this, unfortunately, is that you've achieved financial security when you've accumulated a critical mass of capital that is enough to cover cash, basically, to meet the following needs for a total of 1 year. And that is your rent and mortgage per month, your food and household per month, your utilities per month, your transportation, so your main car payment, and your insurance payments per month, okay? And then your financial vitality is the second bucket. It's when you've achieved financial vitality, when you've accumulated not only your financial security bucket of those that I've labeled per month, you also have 1/2 of your current clothing costs, 1/2 of your dining and entertainment, and 1/2 of your current small indulgences or little luxuries, okay? That's going to be called financial vitality. And it's true, a lot of people are already kind of in those places. The third is what financial independence means. Financial independence means you're independent from work. So how you're doing that is you've achieved the bucket 1 and 2 that we just talked about, security and vitality. But then also through your various investments, you've accumulated enough critical mass in capital that provides you enough cash to live the exact same lifestyle that you have today, even accounting for inflation, without ever having to work again. So when you get to that place, you are considered financially independent. And you had to crunch this number. What I loved is that he used monthly numbers instead of yearly. And everyone has this crazy number, like $1 million or $100 million. It's not that big, really. If you really think about it per month, what you need. 4 is financial freedom. You've achieved financial freedom when you have accumulated enough critical mass, okay, meaning like your big fund, to provide sufficient income for you to live the lifestyle you desire, accounting for inflation without ever having to work again for the rest of your life. So it's not just your current lifestyle, but it's like what you desire, kind of like the one step up from there. And the last one is absolute financial freedom. This is my favorite. It is, the goal has been achieved when you accumulate enough critical mass to provide an income that causes you to feel certain that you can do virtually whatever you want, whenever you want, with whoever you want, as many times as you want. And that empowers yourself forever and ever. So that is the 5 financial dreams. And that's kind of the big goal. And he kind of based that off of everything. And he brought all the different speakers in. And, there were people that were like, the world's going to end, everything's bad and blowing up. And then you had people that were really positive. And he kind of brought the whole basket there so that you could take notes and figure out what's your vision and what you want to do. It was really exciting to see all the different viewpoints and how the world is changing and kind of get visions. He even brought a cryptocurrency guy, Anthony Pompliano, who talked about Bitcoin, which was really cool. And it was a really cool way to see money and finance. He had some world strategists coming on there talking about what's going on globally. So many changes on right now. What's politically going on with all the different administration and all the changes being made right now and cuts and what that's going to mean for all of us, right? So it was fascinating to me to kind of see that. But, the goal that I have is that obviously I want to have non-correlated assets and I want to build my critical mass so that my money can make money for me. And one of my goals is to develop enough critical critical mass to get into private equity, because I'm going to tell you right now, private equity seems to be the game that a lot of people cannot get into. And if you read The Holy Grail of Investing, this kind of talks about private equity a lot, and their returns over the last 35 years have been 15% or more, which is really impressive. I mean, you look at inflation, it's going, basically you hold cash, your inflation's not going to keep up. So you have less cash than you had before, but just by holding on to the cash. And that's something really important to remember. So for those of you that don't have your 5 financial dreams, you should crunch those numbers and figure out what that monthly number really is. And then figure out what is the percentage you're going to take off of your money every single month, no matter what, and have it pull out of your whatever deposits that are coming into your account. I think you can tweak it where if you're getting a paycheck of some sort, you can have an automatic deduction go into a different account so you can build that mass. And what's really fascinating, there was a gentleman that made $14,000 a year. He talked about him. He worked for UPS. Don't remember his name, but when he died with $70 million. So it's not about what you make, it's about what you save and what compounds over time. And I think we've all seen it over and over again. If you've never read The Richest Man in Babylon, that's another book I highly recommend, but you have to pay yourself first and develop that critical mass so that that mass then can make more money for you. I call them my little minions, my dollar minions to make more minions. So those are my bigger takeaways. And there were some really great aha moments about you kind of have to start. A lot of people don't want to invest or don't want to get in the market because they're fearing it. If you're looking for 100% where there's no risk, then the amazing opportunity is gone. Because by the time you know 100%, that's gone. The opportunity is gone. So you do have to take risks to get that reward, and you can't fear it. You have to move forward. And you also have to think about what season in life you're in. If you're older, if you're in your 60s, 70s, and 80s, and you're thinking about retiring, your risk level is going to be different than someone that's 25, 30, right? Or someone that has young children versus someone that's an empty nester. So figure that piece out for you. We talked about seasons. We talk about that a lot. Every single Tony Robbins event, because it's really true. There are seasons in everything in life, whether it's your business, personal relationships, and all that stuff. But a lot of it is that it's so fascinating is that you have to look at focusing on your assets, not just monetary assets, but your skill level, your talents, things you want to do and grow versus your liabilities. Because there's so many opportunities out there is what I notice. Instead of focusing on what you can't do and what you can invest in, is focusing on what you can do. One really exciting piece that I was excited about is Barry Habib, who spoke, who does Money in the Streets. He's a big real estate, interest rate kind of prediction kind of guy. And he's battling cancer right now. And he's cancer free. I think he's getting another scan, but he was just so hopeful about what's coming forward. And I'm really looking forward to seeing his predictions hopefully come true this coming fall and some lower interest rates for our buyers and sellers out there. It's really important to remember too that you have to be positive about how you see your life and how you see your money and how you see growing abundance. Because if you see negative, and that's what you're going to get. You're going to get the bad deal, if that makes sense. So that was another big takeaway, is that what you focus on is what you're going to get, and what your relationship to money is how it's going to show up. So I hope that's helpful. It was an amazing trip. I'm actually typing some stuff up for my coaching clients to give them a little summary as well. And I hope to apply all this stuff. And hopefully if I go next year, I'll be able to grow even more. But they did announce that the adventure trip, because I'm a part of this whole partnership group, is in Croatia. So I'm super excited to go there. I have never been, and do some amazing international traveling this year, hopefully. So until next time, hope you stay empowered and get your financial literacy up. It can only help you. Take care.